PerAnhk, and that means the supreme sorceress of divine mystical powers. I received that name in 2018 under the guidance and I did a Sacred Woman retreat of healing through Melchizedek. And it took me until 2020 to fully take that name in because it was so powerful. But I want to tell you about when I started, when I was introduced into the psychedelic community. It was in 2016. It was the third psychedelic conference. I had no awareness of psychedelics. I had never taken anything at that time. I was just completely a student. I came with an open mind, an open heart. I met beautiful people, and that literally set me on the path to take the dive, to not only cultivate mushrooms myself under the teachings of Baba Kalindi himself, but to also, take it and go in, So, let's see. First I want to give honor to my ancestors, my spirit guides, and my angels that assist me and guide me every day. I am a mother of Egypt, Etoy, Isis, which is my little mushroom baby, my little chocolate baby. One of them run around with little bell bottoms out. Okay. I am a sister, I am a friend, I am a daughter, and I am grateful to honor the mothers in my life within my womb and my lineage. We'll go ahead to 2020 when COVID came about. We go before that. Right after I learned how to cultivate the mushrooms, I took my first 5-gram dose, and that took me to the beginning of creation where I saw myself rebirth myself out of the earth as a tree. I saw me speak my words. I saw my words carry legs and go exactly where my mind was intended for them to go. It was a very beautiful and powerful experience. I have it on YouTube if you want to check it out. My YouTube channel is Urban Goddess. So after that, people started to see the video, or I would share my story, and more people wanted to know about it. So they'd come to me, hey, can you sit for me? You need a sitter, but I'll find somebody for you. And I was going through Baba Kalindi buying the mushrooms from him directly. And I went to him one day and I'm like, well, I have all these people that want mushrooms. Like they asking for a gatekeeper. And he just looked at me like, you are the gatekeeper. So I said, okay, still nervous, but okay, you are the gatekeeper, loud and clear. So I went ahead and I started to sit for people, the people that were close to me, my friends in my inner circle. And they had beautiful trips. So again, 2020 hit, the end of 2020, when COVID-19 first hit, I was gathering with 2 friends. It was the first moon when COVID hit. And I had 7 grams of dried mushrooms. I made a tea with it. I put mint in it and some honey, and I shared it amongst us. So we were doing rituals, and we just laid there on the floor. So the next thing I know, we're all on a train together. This train is traveling. I remember seeing them, and then we'll black out, we'll come back to our consciousness, and we're like kids, we're just playing, so it felt like we was like it reminded me of the Rugrats, so we would sit there and laugh, like we felt like we were like babies, but then we'd go back into that trance state and be back on that train. And I remember after a while, I didn't see them anymore. I'm just traveling the train by myself. So the next thing I know, I am in the underworld, and I am walking down this everything was like corroded. All the buildings were it was just dark. Everything was like there was no life. But I'm walking down this street feeling fully empowered. I'm seeing spirits. I'm seeing all kind of things. But I had no fear as I'm walking, and I just felt so godlike, right? So I came back out of that trip, and they were like, we were looking for you, where did you go? I'm like, well, I went somewhere, I didn't see y'all either. And they started telling me how they were seeing wars. They stopped somewhere where they were seeing stone, like sculptures, possibly over, I can't remember exactly because I didn't experience it. But they were seeing like these stone statues, they saw all kind of war, they saw pedophilia, and that wasn't my experience. So after I started reflecting with that, I realized that the depth of the level that I was going with, getting to the root of my work, it allowed me to go down to the underworld and be able to hold a space for people to go to the depths of their own being as well. So, not so long after Baba Kalimbi transitioned, I remember talking to someone and I was telling them like these different downloads I was getting. I just felt like everything was the pandemic. The next thing I know, my phone started getting tapped. I had a pop-up come in, somebody trying to hijack my phone from Wuhan. So I'm like, I screenshotted it. We don't have my slides, but I have a heavy Virgo placement, so I have receipts for days, okay? So I screenshotted like, okay, like they own me or whatever. And it was a trip I took maybe 2 years before that where I discovered I had a fear of stepping out or speaking in the public, and that was rooted from a past life of me being a witch and me being hung, for my power, in front of my people. So that has strained my throat to be able to speak or even share myself. So that took work for me to get through. And like this moment right now, and like these butterflies I got on me, like this is that new beginning. Fine. So let me see, where else can I go? I know we gotta kind of speed up with it. I was working at Chrysler up until 2020. In July of 2020, I traveled to Myrtle Beach with two of my goddess sisters. While in Myrtle Beach, I experienced the initiation with tapping into the water. That pure salt water, felt the energy of the mother just cleanse me, but also give me direction that it is time to leave this 9-to-5 life. Like this slavery is not for you, you got more work to do, So after leaving the beach, I was sitting out on the balcony. We was probably like on the 23rd floor at the hotel we were at. Again, I wanted to show you all, but there were 9 ravens at a few hotels over. I remember making contact with one and looking in the eye, and I'm like, you better not go say nothing to me. So it turned and it started talking to the other one, and the other one looked over, and then it flew over to my balcony. So then another one came after that one landed like right up under me, and like I captured it all just like landing around me as I'm sitting on the balcony. So I started getting scared. I'm not gonna hold y'all up. I was terrified. But when it was time for that last one to come over, he came and he swooped right over in front of the balcony and landed directly in front of me, and I ran inside of the hotel room and closed the door like, no, we're not gonna do this, but I receive you, I hear you. I embrace you. So I went back to work. Tried to go back to Chrysler. As soon as I walked in the door, I got sick instantly. Spirit told me before walking in there, no, this is not for you. It is time to go. I still tried to get on my tugger. I started my key up, tried to go. I blacked out and started seeing dots. And they had to send me to medical. But yeah, I'm still like, no, I gotta get this money. I got bills to pay. I don't have no plan. But when it was time for me to reinstate back at work, my body would not. Spirit and my ancestors were loud and kept telling me no. And I kept trying to get up, and they would not let me get out of my bed. And I knew at that moment that it was over. It's time for me to get to work. So I tapped fully into my gifts. I was doing readings for people under the table. Well, just not out in the public. I say that. And people started to contact me saying that they were having dreams about me giving them guidance. So I knew then, like, well, for one, how do you know I even have cards? You know, like, these people I never showed this to, but I knew it had to be real because it was something that I was doing, and I felt that call. Like, my intuition was in tune with it. So I started reading and doing readings at the Motown Witch in Detroit, and that became my new life. And it's all because of the cultivation of mushrooms. While working there, I started to have these deja vu moments. And in those deja vu moments, I realized that these were all glimpses and scenes that I've seen while on the mushroom. So it was showing me how the mushroom allowed me to time travel into the future to see myself. And something that I didn't even know back then what that was. But as it happened, it was coming in just like deja vu, like this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be here to help and guide. And working, you know, under the guidance of the mothers. Like I feel the energy of the mothers fully. Even dealing with my name, and I don't subscribe to anything. I understand that everything in the universe is all connected. No matter how it's expressed, it's all energy. But there is this energy of being connected to the mothers and doing this work and showing up, not only for the women, but I show up for men as well, because it's about that balance. Okay, so I am a holistic doula, intuitive doula. I work at the gateway in that manner as well. I also do shamanic Reiki, and it came to me as shamanic Reiki because of the level of the depth that of energy I can pull out of somebody's body. So I tap into past lives, and I also channel celestial beings, and they will let me know who they are, that they're associated to that person, and the person will always confirm. So in 2020, when we had that pause, I literally opened up portals for people to tap into their work and their power and get started on their path. And that's exactly what the mushroom showed me, that I had that calling to help open these portals to get this ball going. Like it was time to do the work here. What else am I missing? I'm sorry, I'm trying to rush y'all. But, so yeah, even when it comes to me doing work with men, I also, again, serve as a gatekeeper. I make sure that I do divination, okay? Because Mama Mayana and the psychedelic community, they will let you know that men work with men and women work with women. Like you don't cross it. The amount of emotions that a man can hold in those moments can come out and be very rageful at times. It may be too much for a woman to hold. I was raised with men. This was like part of my life. I have 13 male cousins. I was the first granddaughter born out of 13 boys, born on my grandfather's birthday. Grew up very connected to these men. And then even with the clients that I would meet, I got the okay from spirit, you know, to sit with them. So I want to make sure I say that this is not something I'm encouraging anybody else to do, but this was just the calling for me and the ability to show up as a mother and being nurturing in those moments to hold space for that and not have any issues. But again, I am here to serve at the gates, the bridge. I am the gatekeeper, often referred to as the urban goddess. And it is a true privilege to be seen here by you all today, and I thank God.